This is Jim Shiner with your Restoration Uganda update. And if you're not familiar with Restoration Uganda, the last 16 years, just a quick praise of what God has done. We have sent over $2 million. I always like to say there's 0% administration costs. What that means, of course, is you send us student sponsorship, we send everything there. You send us money for projects, we send everything there. Everyone's volunteer, we keep nothing at all. We've educated over 1,000 students by God's grace. We have 3 physical schools, a nursery, a primary, a boarding high school section with over 600 students in it. We have an orphanage, and by God's grace, we also support a church that's reaching thousands of people. I want to give you a quick praise. You remember in my report in April, I told you about the Ruzibiza family who we met about 7 years ago in Uganda. These 3 kids, Joshua came to Pastor Mike and said, sponsor me. They were refugees from Rwanda. And I told you back in August that Mike and his family sponsored them. And you can see they live in Texas now. They moved to Texas. They graduated there. This is a picture of the 3 students that were sponsored. And what's really cool is about 2 weeks ago, I got to meet them. They came to Spokane to the church where I pastor. This was them again 7 years ago. They actually gave a testimony in our church. And the cool thing is that Joyce actually got to meet her sponsors, Jim and Michelle Kraft, excuse me, were in church that day. They had no idea that Joyce was going to be there. It was just a great celebration. I've been telling you about, for the last few months, about our desire to upgrade our facilities. And first of all, we wanted to raise $12,000 for pavers. Now pavers, this is inside the boarding section compound. This is the road outside. You can see it's the exact same, again, inside the compound now. This is what it looks like. The inside of the compound has pavers in it. This is our, that was our high school boarding section. This is our primary section, and this is our nursery. And so all of the pavers are done. We raised almost $5,000 for 15 beds. Those are there for our boarding section. We raised $3,500 for 20 desks. Those are there. I told you about a special urgent need that came up. We didn't even plan on this, but educationally we had to raise about $15,000 for textbooks for our high school, for lab equipment. And then this was even a surprise. They contacted me the last month to say, we need to build a lab and a library. We got the books and we got the lab equipment, but we have no room. We have to, so we again sent $9,000 to them to do this. This is what the room looked like before. And now this is our high school lab, as you can see, fully stocked. We're meeting the Uganda Education Board requirements. The high school students are already there. Participating, learning lab. This is something we've never been able to do for the science element of our education. And so again, thank you so much for your support. This is the library. So far, if you look at all this, I'll get out of the way. We have sent over to Uganda about $46,000. Now, this has just been in the last 3 months. I have to tell you, we told you about a month ago about a very generous donor who said that he was going to match donations up to $50,000, and he recently just said, here's the whole $50,000. And so most of this money that we've received has been from this one donor. We've received an additional $10,000, and so right now in the last couple of months we've raised about $60,000. That leaves us about $14,000 left, which we're going to send over actually tomorrow. The next step of what we're trying to do is take all these high school rooms, boarding section rooms, it's a 4-story building, and plaster the remaining walls. There's lots of rooms that need to be plastered inside on the walls so that they will look like this. Again, we're close to finishing that. But again, keep us in prayer. If the Lord stirs your heart, there's so much more we have to do. The next step after this is we have 3 facilities, the primary school, the boarding section high school, and the nursery section. And we want to be able to tile the floors. All the floors in all 3 schools are dirt. And then even beyond that, we want to plaster and paint the exterior of the boarding section, finish the staff housing. We want to get a computer lab and upgrade the kitchen. And so remember to pray for us. Listen, if you want to give through PayPal, there's a PayPal giving fund where it costs you nothing, and we get 100% of what you give. Email me and I'll send you that link, jim@restorationuganda.com. You can always send a check here, and always pray for Uganda. Thank you so much.